followers up, 2x2 formation. Well, change now, we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
This is very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in, this has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill, then head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that truck inside line. Yes, he is. Through he goes.
Good morning everyone, welcome along to the final round of the Apex Online Racing Endurance season. This is the Superpole coming up in just a moment. We are in the Tier 2 lobby to begin with, so we can have a good old look at the Tier 2 guys as they put in their best efforts in the Superpole session. Should be a really good one here. It's a Superpole now, and then a little bit later this afternoon we will be having the actual main event, 8 hours of Laguna Seca. It's going to be fast and furious, it's going to be intense, and turn 1 is what can only be described as hopeful, shall we say, and as for the corkscrew as well, so fingers crossed it all goes absolutely fine. But Superpole for now, so it'll be 1 car on track at a time. They get an out lap to get the tyres up to temperature, they get their qualifying lap, and then they are done. That's it. You get 1 chance at this, so just coming up to the end of the free practice session. So a few of the guys out there still just trying to put in some times, seeing what they can do. Feel free to jump in the YouTube chat, give your favourite driver a shout out, or generally, yeah, just give us some abuse. It's absolutely fine, I understand. I do apologise, I'm a little bit more nasally than normal, but doing my very best. I will avoid any coughs and splutters here on the stream. So the main race going on from 2 till 10 this evening, so it's going to be a late one for all of us. The drivers have got 8 hours of Laguna Seca, and I don't think I fancy doing more than an hour, if I'm honest, of racing around this circuit. But commentary, I'm more than happy to keep going for as long as possible. There will be a little brief pause just in the middle while we have a bit of a switch over, so one of the other guys can take over the stream, but I should be on the comms for the majority of the race, bar a few little run-offs to the little boys' room. But apart from that, should be here. The guys have been doing qualifying as an entire team, and then they average the scores over the space of the week, but this time there is... It's just down to the driver on track. No one else. It is just them. They have to do their very best. And they get one go at it. Make a mistake, dirty the lap. That's it. You're done. You start from the back of the Superpole grid. So they're all inside the top 10. But they will end up possibly, even if you are the fastest people average over the week, you can end up in 10th place if you dirty this lap. So a lot of pressure on these drivers' heads. So still just at the moment waiting for the beginning of the actual Superpole session. This should be a really, really good one. It's going to be some tight racing, and as we know, Laguna Seca got some very, very challenging turns. Not just the corkscrew, which is the doomed corner. The sort of turn 2, that sort of almost like it's a double apexed hairpin, catches a lot of people out. Going to probably see a lot of moves for position going on there, and again, actually turn sort of 3 and turn 4. Can be very difficult as well. Very easy to get your apex wrong, end up in the gravel. Not a massive amount of runoff all the way through Sector 1 and the beginning of Sector 2. Pretty much every corner here at Laguna Seca is a challenge, isn't it? So, right, seeing a couple of shout-outs in the chat already. Big shout-out to car number 330. Let's see if we can get them up on the screen. Oh, they're sat in the pits. Okay. But that is LTM Last Turn Motorsport. Right, here we go. This is the beginning. Just waiting for the first car to go out now. Who's going to be our first man out? At car number 111. So this is Connor Hill. What has gone on there? I've just lost... Oh no, there is game audio. It's just very quiet for some reason. What has happened there? Why is that so quiet? Do apologise about that. Let's try a different camera set, see if that helps. There we go, that's slightly better. Right, so out lap to begin with. This will be the only chance he gets to get any warmth in those tyres. What you're going to find is a lot of these guys will be running absolute minimum fuel. They won't bother doing an in lap. They will just have to retire afterwards. Oh, I'm noticing that this car is running a very, very high ping. So hopefully it can stay stable. That may be something they need to address possibly before the actual race begins. Also seeing a shout out for the Beeswax boys. And a shout out for one of my fellow commentators. Good morning, Luke. Right. This is it. Got to try and get this corner as good as he possibly can. Wants as much of a fast run into this lap as possible. So we'll see how he goes. Final straight. And he's going to be getting an absolute death at this point. Let's actually bring up the times. There we go, that's what we're after. Right, seems all pretty clean so far. Again, as I said, that high ping making it quite difficult to see exactly where his line is. The car is sort of shimmying back and forth. Good late apex, plenty of inside curb, gets on the throttle, and a little bit of exit curb there as well. So 10 AM in-game. Nearly runs wide, but just about manages to hold it together there. Good run towards the top of the corkscrew, gets it done. Yes, nicely done. Say again, you want to go as quick as possible, but you are not wanting to dirty the lap. Throws it in again. Hard on the throttle down the hill. One corner left to go. If he can keep it clean here, he'll be the first man to set a lap. So, throws it in, plenty of inside curb, runs all the way to the outside, keeping it on the black stuff to make sure he's got as much traction as possible. Coming across the line now, and in a time of a 1:23.8. And there you go, see, immediately retiring to the pit. So now on board with car number 4 is Danny Jensen with DSRT RJB Solutions. One of the Aston Martins. One of the 2 Aston Martins inside the top 10 here. 3 Aston Martins, I do apologise. Again, this is just his outlap. He'll be working on trying to get temperature in the brakes, temperature in the tyres, but not wanting to burn too much fuel by ragging around too much. Made it through the corkscrew out without any issues, getting plenty of top warmth into those tyres. Coming onto the brakes now, one final turn to go, and then he's going to be on his flyer. There we go, absolutely going for it now. This is going to be it. What sort of time are we going to see from him? Can he keep it clean the whole way through? So up through turn 1, it's a long downhill. So double apex left-handed hairpin. Good exit there, not too wide. Gets it back across the other side of the track, aiming in for turn 4. Again, really well put together. Not going too wide there at all. Throwing it in again. Using as much exit as he possibly could without going onto the sand. That would really hurt your times. Here we go. Slightly earlier apex than we saw from the 111 car. It seems to be going well at the moment. Throws it in. Just keeps it within track limits as well. Keeps the tyre on the black stuff. Hardest corner on the track. On the brakes hard into here. Good clean line. I think that's just about kept it together. Seems to be going well. One corner left to go now. This slightly over 90-degree turn. It does catch people out, get people on the exit. Rolls the throttle on as hard as possible. It's a sprint to the line now. 1:23.885 to beat. What are we going to get here? It's a 1:23.250. Massive improvement from him there. And Jensen will be very, very happy with that. Great work. So now cutting across to car number 888. Oh, that's a gorgeous looking Lexus. And he is actually already about to start his flying lap. Here we go, straight onto it now. Thunders through turn 1. So, hard on the brakes. Hitting them absolutely perfect. So this is Nins in Misbehaving, designed by no one else. Looking really clean there as he finishes off sector 1. Oh, lit him into the gravel, that's going to hurt his times. Don't think he went too deep, so managed to keep the car sort of reasonably in the right place. Good apex there. Not using too much exit curb, trying to straighten this little straight out as much as possible though. Keeps it well within the lines, nice and tidy. So up towards the top of the hill for corkscrew. Hard on the brakes. This is a big old car to stop. the Lexus. Oh, I don't know if he went a little bit too tight there, though. He was on the green stuff. He was just off the inside of that curb, so that might have dirtied it ever so slightly. Obviously, since the latest update, they've reworked. Oh yeah, it did. It is. So he retires to the pits, and he will be devastated about that. Easy mistake to make, though. Very easy mistake to make there. You're trying to get as much time as possible, and it's very easy to just go a little bit too far over. So, on board with car number 149. Oh, and it appears to be a car completely clad in carbon fibre. Here we go, beginning his flying lap. Crosses the line, trying to get as much pace as possible through turn 1. Down into turn 2 and 3. Seems to be good. Nice roll on the throttle, no hesitations. Looks good to me there. There we go, right. So again, what sort of apex is he taking? Yeah, just avoid that inside sausage curb. Just staying off the exit curb as well, not risking running too wide. And again, looking really nice there. Up towards. Can he do this under braking through this corkscrew? Yes, just keeps the tyre on the curb that time. So we saw it last lap, sadly, with the 888 car going a little bit too deep on the second part of that downhill chicane. Ooh, nearly dips a tyre in the gravel there, though, on the penultimate turn. Final sprint to the line. What are we going to get? What is the time we are going to be looking for? We've got a 1:23.25 to beat. Ooh, and just shy. 1:23.282 was his best there. Really good effort by him, though. Right, so I'm now going to jump on board with car number 222, Richard Phillips. Just about to start his flying lap in the thundering Mercedes. Makes it through turn 2. Absolutely beautiful job. All the way to the outside, flicking it back in, trying to avoid too much exit curb. Does it. Nice chunk of inside. And again, not running out too wide. Doesn't manage to dip a tyre onto the gravel. Managed to keep it all together. Slightly later apex again, I'd say there. It seems to be holding together. There's another flying corner. It would be very easy to overcut the corner, hit that inside curb and fling yourself out wide, but he does not. Keeps it absolutely on the straight and narrow. Up to the top of the corkscrew now, hard on the brakes. Big old car to stop this Mercedes. And he looks like he gets it done nicely, well within tolerance. Doing really nicely here. 2 corners left to go. A little bit wide, keeps it together though. 1 final corner to go. Going to throw it in and try and get as much straight line speed out of the Merc as possible. Rolls on the throttle hard. What are we going to get? So we've got a 1:23.25 to beat still. 3rd place with a 1:23.435. Really strong effort still, especially with the big Mercedes here. Right, we now have car number 333, one of our BMWs. This is Beeswax Wasabi team. Okay. Through turn 2, turn 3, looks really good and smooth. Very easy to get on the throttle too soon and ruin your exit of turn 3, and he absolutely mastered that one. All the way to the left-hand side of the track before throwing it in for the apex. Just avoids the gravel. Couldn't have had any more circuit, I don't think, if he'd tried. Absolute perfection going on for this one at the moment. Really, really good. Throwing it in again. I think he just kept it within the lines, possibly then. He's using every last millimetre of circuit here. You'll have to be a little bit careful down through the... Yep, the corkscrew's done nicely. A little bit of a bounce from the car there, though. Managed to keep it under control. It's a long left-hander. Probably going to catch a few people out later today. Nicely done. One corner left to go. Swings it in. Rolls on the throttle. And what are we going to get? He's straight lining it as much as possible. And he's on pole with a 1:22.867. Absolutely fantastic effort by the 333 car there. Really, really good effort putting himself up on pole. Right, car number 21 coming round next. And this is Meredith. Racing for AMF1. It's a good looking little Aston Martin there. Turn 1, 2, 3, all done very nicely. Throws it into turn 4. What are we going to get? Plenty of exit curb, but keeps it together. Throwing it in again. Just avoids the sausage on the inside. Seems to look pretty well planted here. Right, throwing it in. And he do it. Here we go. Left-hander, flying left-hander. Just stretches out a little bit. Thinks he just about keeps it within the lines again. Up to the top of the corkscrew. What are we going to get? Good chunk of inside curb. Oh, and a slight over-rotation of the car. That's going to hurt his times. That is going to hurt his times. That's disappointing for that 21 car. It was doing really well up to that point. Still going for it though, not abandoning the lap. They know if they could just put a time in there, at least 9th on the grid, even if they've lost a whole load of time with that slight over-rotation. What time? In 2nd place, even with that mistake. A 1:23.082. That is a fantastic effort. I can't even imagine how quick that lap would have been if it wasn't for that slight mistake. So, on board with Dakuza, car number 728, Team Hive Mind. One of these big BMWs. Been a fairly dominant car all across ACC over the last, well, since the release of it, really. It's been a very, very dominant car. Well, let's see how it does here at Laguna Seca. I do apologise if anyone heard my cough. And apologies for my extra nasally voice. Right, Dakuza going strong, coming down into turn 6 now. Yes, throws it in, just avoids the sausage on the inside. Plenty of exit curb. Just keeps it inside the lines there as well. Keeping one tyre on the black stuff. So up to the top. As we come down through corkscrew. Good line through there, kept it nice and clean. Throws it in again. Oof, a little bit wide on the exit there, but gets it back across for the penultimate turn. One turn left to go. He's got a 1:22.867 to beat. Can he do it? Final stretch for the line now. What have we got? Dakuza 2nd place with a 1:22.912. Fantastic effort for him as well. 0.045 behind our pole sitter. So car number 330, and there was a shout out in the chat from Andre for this one. Going for P1 apparently. And that bright blue BMW. They're just starting their flyer now, so through turn 1. All the way out wide into braking zone for turn 2/3. On the brakes again, throwing it in. So this is LTM Last Turn Motorsport. This is Tadas racing for them. keeping it nice and clean so far. Looks fairly competitive. Rolling on the throttle again there. Can he avoid the sausage curb? Yes, he does, and keeps it within the lines as well. Next challenge, corkscrew. Can he hold it together up through here? Hard of the brakes, throws it in. Good line, plenty of curb, but not dirtying the lap. Plenty of apex there, looking pretty clean. One corner left to go for car number 330. Puts it in. Last stretch to the line. What are we going to get here? 122.867 to beat. And he's on pole. 122.260. That's a massive improvement. 0.6 of a second over anyone else. That's a really good effort. So car number 450 out next. And, oh, no, he's in warming his tyres. I thought he was having a little bit of a slip around there. This is, I'm going to pronounce this as Louis. Banana Racing. And here we go. The Porsche should be a fairly dominant car here at Laguna Seca. It always has been historically. So let's see what it can do. Turn 1 done. Turn 2/3 now. Rolling on the throttle. Does make a really good noise, this Porsche. And keeping his foot firmly planted where it needs to be. Tad of exit curb there. Keeps it out the gravel though. Still flying forward. Throws it in. Gets on the throttle. A little bit of exit curb, not too much. Straight lines it just here. Keeps it within the lines here as well. Using every last inch to try and get as much pace out of this car as possible. So top of the corkscrew, what can he do? Can he keep it clean here? Decent line through there. Swings the car in. Just avoids the sausage on the inside of there. Penultimate turn now. On the brakes, swinging it through. Plenty of inside curb. Touch the exit curb. One corner left to go. This has looked fairly competitive. Oh, little touch of the curb, and it sounded like the car may have bounced ever so slightly. Traction control possibly cutting in. So 122.260 to beat, and he doesn't quite do it. So car 330 on pole, and Louis Cruchette puts himself in second place, followed by Eugene, car number 333 in third place. Dacusa, car number 278 in fourth. Meredith in fifth. Jansen sixth. Bulezen in 7th, Phillips in 8th, Hill in 9th, and due to a dirtied lap, Nins in the 888 Lexus is running in 9th place. So, there should have been 10 people in here. One of them's disappeared. Who was that that's disappeared? I'm not sure. Never mind, we won't worry too much. But there we go. That is the end of the Superpole for Tier 2. Do stick with us. Tier 1 is going to be coming up soon. And let's see if anyone wants to join us in the chat for that one. Ready for interview. Who have we got? We have got Tadas. Cool, our pole sitter. Right, I will drag him in for an interview. And while we're doing that, we can change over to the other server as well. So I will drag him in. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Hello. Fantastic effort by you there. Absolutely dominated that. 0.6 of a second in front of your closest car.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't believe it.
It's a really, really strong qualifying. Half expected the Porsche to really dominate it this time round, but no, really did a really good effort on that one.
Yeah, I thought that's Porsche track Laguna, so we dominated qualia, and I thought we were going to finish P2, but I still can't believe I put that. To be honest, we don't have race setup. No, we don't. uh, uh, I'm, I mean, not in game. I created the custom, but we don't have like custom to a very setup. Just well, so that's going to be difficult. Yeah, we are currently P1 in the championship, so we're yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be extremely dangerous, those sausage curbs, so we will see. We don't. Yeah, thank you.
Just coming towards the end of their practice sessions now. All my screens back to where they need to be, and we can begin the show. Let's minimize that one, bring this one up so we can see the numbers properly. Right, so here we go. This is Tier 1 Superpole for the 8 hours of Laguna Seca. These are the big boys. We saw some really good times a moment ago, but no doubt we are going to see some absolutely terrifyingly quick times this time round. So just waiting to see who is our first car out. So, first car to leave the pits. It is car number 920. Let's jump to them. Car number 920. So, this is the out lap. 1 lap to get the tyres and everything else up to temperature. Get a feel for the car. Get a feel for the circuit and the conditions. 1 lap to set your time. And that is it. Any mistakes, as we saw in the Tier 2 Superpole, any mistakes, and that's it. Your lap is done. This is Skidnov. You can see driving with the brakes on quite a lot, trying to force temperature into the brakes and also let that soak into the tyres. Laguna is not the longest circuit in the world to be able to get temperature. Something like Spa, where you've got a long time to get tyres up to temperature, it's, you know, a lot easier than somewhere like this. A lot easier on a longer circuit, but this short track, not a lot of time. If you make a mistake, then you are in trouble pretty quick. Let's get the YouTube chat back up. So this is Sergei Skidnov for Skidnov Racing. Going to be our first man to set a lap. This is going to be the benchmark for everyone else. 1 corner left to go, and then he's starting his flyer. Oh, here we go. Thunders towards the line. Just missing the inside there. Down into turns 2 and 3. Here we go. Apex 1. Done. A little bit deep. Cuts it back in again. Nicely done. Gets a good exit. Hard on the throttle. Throwing it across again now. Beautifully done. Just avoids the sausage. Not too much exit curb. Keeps it rolling. Again, nicely done there. Not too much exit curb. Keeping it really nice and clean. No one wants to go outside of bounds. Just keeps it inside there. Thunders up towards the top of the corkscrew. What are we going to get? How is he going to go into this? Hard on the brakes. Plenty of curb there, but manages to keep it under control. Good, clean line through. Swings it along. Plenty of apex there. Nicely done. Really opening the taps on this BMW. Just keeps it within the curb. 1 corner left to go. What is our benchmark time going to be? Sprint to the line now. What is our fastest time going to be here? 1:22.552. That is already a very strong time. Right, on board with Smets. Porsche Racing, car number 95. Coming up to his flying lap now. Gets the straightest line possible there through that turn, trying to gather as much speed as possible. 1:22.552 to beat. Here we go. Turns 2 and 3. Rattles down the gears. Throwing it in again. A little bit of exit curb there, not too much, then keeps it out there so he can throw himself through. There it is, nicely done. Keeps it out the gravel there as well. So we'll see what kind of line he takes through here. As we said before, the Porsche is sort of historically fairly dominant here at Laguna Seca. But it is a very much a risk-reward car. Yep, definitely kept that within the lines. Does look very nice and planted. So, hard on the brakes, throws it into the corkscrew. Yep, kept that well within the lines. Plenty of inside curb there as well. Ooh, it looks like maybe a little bit of the car became unsettled on the exit of the turn, but manages to keep it together. brakes here, throwing it in the final left-hander. A little bit of curb on the inside, maybe just clip the sausage curb as well. That may have affected his exit speed. Coming up towards the line now. Puts himself on pole with a 1:21.660. So we are into the 21s now. And car number 58 is our next man out, and that is Marlon Andrade for Van Wool Simsport in this brightly coloured BMW. What we like. This is what we like about the old GT3 racing. The different types of cars you get here. Just the sheer difference in size of cars. Oh, a little bit deep there. I think he may have apexed a little bit late and may have just messed up his exit. But keeping it together. I see Yorkie in the chat cheering on Van Wool. And I believe he is one of the co-drivers in car number 58, so he is very much invested in this car's position on the grid. As we said before, obviously all of these guys are inside the top 10 after they've been doing their qualifying throughout the week. Now this is the Superpole, so even if you qualified on pole throughout the week, throughout the time between the previous races, you don't necessarily start on pole. It's all down to Superpole. One lap. Okay, nicely done through there though, keeps it together. 2 corners to go. Nicely done, keeping it together. Maybe just dipped a curve ever so slightly there. Throwing it in. Last straight now. All out drag race to the line. Car number 58 does a... Oh, there we go, 1:21.985. So even with that slight mistake on turn 2-3, a fantastic effort. Right, cutting across now to car number 869. Samir Fock in the KEKW Clown Fiesta Esports car. In that garish red and purple livery. These guys have been very, very dominant throughout the entire season. So let's see what they can do here. And having a quick look at the YouTube chat just while this is going on as well. Arkatoothis, one of my fellow commentators. Hello boys, sorry for ducking out, trying to watch where I can. No problems whatsoever. Ark. Real life always comes before racing, whether it be sim racing or any kind of racing, you know. Families and stuff come first, so totally understandable, mate. Hope you're doing well. Right, top of the corkscrew. Here we go, throwing it in. Ferrari just always looks aggressive, doesn't it? It's such an aggressive car on track. So here we go, throwing it in. Lots of inside curb, nicely done. Now, welcome along, Joshua Wilson. Right, final stretch to the line. What are we going to do? What sort of time are we looking at? 1:21.660 to beat. It doesn't quite do it. 1:21.732. It's a really good effort, but not quite quick enough. So Connor Wright is our next man to keep an eye on in car number 57, one of the other Van Wool Simsport cars. Matching livery to car number 58. Turn 1 done nicely. So down now into turn 2/3. Look like a slightly better line than number 58. But who am I to judge? These guys are the aliens. I am merely, you know, as they say in the UK, if you can't do it, teach it. Well, I can't race very well, so I speak it instead. And even that, my body's trying to tell me to stop. But we refuse. We'll keep going. Right, coming up towards the end of Sector 2 now. Throws it in, just avoids the sausage curb, keeps it just within tolerance there as well. Sprint uphill to the top of the corkscrew, hard on the brakes. Oh, slight over-rotation from him as he came over the crest. Managing to keep it together. He'll be kicking himself about that. Really easy mistake to make there. The car goes very, very light through the top of the corkscrew. the BMW, that front engine rear wheel drive is always going to be light on the back end. Throwing it in. Final drag race to the line. What are we going to get? Puts himself in 4th place. That rotation, I think, did do a lot of damage to his lap time. So that was a 1:22.270 was his best there. So great to see the Hondas back up and running again after the most recent update. They gave the car a bit of a retune. It's technically a new car, but with the same name. So this is Honda Team Motor. And this is Zamaski, sorry. Car number 199. And yeah, really happy to see the Honda has become a car that is actually out on the grids again, especially in the higher tiers of racing. And it doesn't come much higher than this. Tier 1 Apex Online Racing. So if you are just joining us, obviously this is the Superpole for the 8 hours of Laguna Seca later this afternoon, running on into the evening. These guys get 1 out lap to get the tyres warm, 1 flying lap to set a time, and that is it. If they make a mistake, it's all over for them. Oh, and again, slight over-rotation car number 199 there. But keeps it together, throwing it in. 2 turns left to go. Oh, just misses his apex, but keeps it together. 1 turn left to go. Does not miss the apex this time, and it's a final sprint to the line. What sort of times are we looking at here? Fantastic effort, a 1:21.440. So that is our fastest time by 0.02 of a second. That's a really, really strong effort from them. Right, and then we have Beaver Grease Racing Lithuania, and the driver is Garantis Caracas in the McLaren number 720. Subsequently, this driver did win the Tier 2 Sprint Series recently, and proving himself to be quite a dominant racer. Throwing it in nicely through turns 1, 2 and 3. Turn 4, a little bit of exit curve, but keeps it together. Slight correction, but all good. Oh, just avoiding the gravel. I don't reckon you could have got a flea between the gap there. Rolling on the throttle there again. Nicely done. Yeah, quick look at the chat. Baboon Motorsport, let's go. That is Hamlin shouting them out. So, sprinting up the hill. Hard on the brakes towards the top of the corkscrew. Throwing it in. Doesn't get that over rotation. You could hear the traction control kicking in though. That slight hesitation from the engine. Nearly hits the sausage curb on the inside there. Throwing it again. Nicely done. Hard on the brakes. 1 turn left to go. Sprint to the line now. What time can Caracas put in? Putting himself in 4th position with a 1:21.850. So 4th place, 2nd row on the grid is not bad for the moment, but everyone is going to keep getting faster. So on board with the, oh my goodness, Baboon Motorsport, the brightest pink, the hottest pink Honda out there. This is Nicholas Alvarado. Just starting his flying lap now. Slightly high ping again from this driver, but it looks pretty stable. It's not glitching about too much. Looking nice there, throwing it in. Again, plenty of inside curbing. You can hear the tyres rattling over it as he then rolls on the throttle. Not too much exit, avoiding the curb up the hill. Throwing it in. Ooh, yeah. Just keeping it within the lines. Next challenge, corkscrew. Difficult place to brake. Trying to use the curbs a little bit on the outside to get the braking done. Throws it in. Nicely done. Look fairly clean there. Ooh, that's it. 2 turns left to go. A right and a left. decent amount of inside curb. Gets on the throttle, doesn't go too wide on the exit. That's a good line. Hard on the brakes here. Avoid that sausage. We take as tight as you possibly can. They get on the throttle. Absolutely straight as a die towards the line. And at second place. Second place for Baboons Motorsport with a 121.475. So next car number 303. It's one of the Porsches. And this is Competizione Future Esports. Sorry, lots of lower and uppercase letters there to try and rattle my way through. And this is Istvan Puki. Throwing himself in, turns 2 and 3 here. Slight hesitation on the throttle there, I think, as he exited, but I may be wrong. Again, pushing hard now. And there's a shout in the chat for car number 95. Let's go 95. That's from Brian. Yeah, Smeets put that car in third place. Really good effort on the grid at the moment. It's a very, very tight grid. Just keeps it within tolerance there. Flying up towards the top of the hill. Ready to dive back down through the corkscrew. Yes, there we go. That rear engine keeping the back of the car planted as it puts its power down. Just misses the apex there though, but doesn't seem faltered. Oh, a little bit deep, just drops the tyre off the curb there into the gravel, but not enough to really slow the car down. Final turn. Big drag race to the line now. What are we going to get? 121.4 to beat. And it's a 121.5 dead. Really good lap from him, putting himself in third place. Right, so next car out is car number 8. Another one of the Porsches. And this is for Flying Estonians. This is Parak. Starting his flyer now. In those classic Golf colours. There we go. And you can see all the Porsches have taken a slightly deeper line through turns 2 and 3. You can say the only sort of real rear-engined rear-wheel drive platform in the GT3 series. So they do take a slightly different line, obviously able to get the power down slightly better. Throws it in, plenty of inside curb there. Not using the exit curb, keeping it on the black stuff. Just keeps it within tolerance there on the exit. Up towards the top of the corkscrew now. Here we go, hard the brakes, about to throw it in. Gets it done, yes! So the weight of the engine just able to keep the back end stuck to the floor nicely through that light crest. Good amount of inside curb there. Here we go, one corner left to go. What can he do? This is our final man out on the circuit. What sort of times are we going to see here? And he puts himself on pole with a 121.352. Absolutely astonishingly quick. So quick run through the grid, and then we'll see if we can get anyone in to have a quick chat with us. So Parak on pole, car number 8. Simatsky in second place. Alvarado third. Puki fourth. Smeets fifth. Foch sixth. Caracas seventh. Andrade 8th, Wright 9th, and Skidnov in 10th place. That is unbelievably close. Well, the top 9 all within a second, and Skidnov just outside of a second. That is unbelievably quick. So the Tier 1 guys really showing some absolutely blistering pace there. Really, really good to see that level of racing going on here with Apex. Online racing. Right, let's see if we can get someone in for a chat with us as well. Let's find the right bit. Yes, right. I will drag somebody across, and we'll have a good old chinwag with them. I would just move us to a slightly more nice aesthetic. There we go. Actually remember to add my voice to the chat this time. I do apologise earlier. Right. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hello.
Fantastic. Hello. That was a strong old effort. Just so everyone knows who's talking and what car are you driving.
I'm Jusparek from Flying Estonian's team. I was the last one to finish the lap.
Fantastic. Really, really good, strong effort. That was a really good lap, has to be said. I know obviously the pole position lets you know that anyway, but goodness gracious, that was a really, really strong lap from you.
Yeah, I took it relatively safe because I saw the times and I had kind of advantage. So yeah.
Is that advantage? Is that because you're in the Porsche? You're saying you had the advantage, or that you knew what times you had to beat?
Yeah, I knew what times I had to beat, and Honda is quite strong as well here, so
Yeah,
I think we're quite equal.
yeah, it's really nice to see the Honda actually sort of back on the grids again, isn't it? It's it went off away for quite a long time, but really nice to see the Honda back and at such high level of GT3 racing as well. I mean, you know, you guys are you are the aliens. Tier 1 are complete aliens. There's no denying it. You know, I'm sure you know it yourself. You guys are incredibly fast. I mean, Tier 2 are very quick, but the Tier 1 guys just absolutely make the rest of us look like fools with how quick you go. Do you have any big setup changes going into the race later, or any? I'm not going to try and let anyone else know your plan. So if you want to keep your plans a little bit hidden, that's absolutely fine. But any big changes happening later?
No, not really. We just keep it simple and no, really not big setup changes or anything. So yeah.
Oh, cool. So you literally the what you qualified them with is basically the setup you'll be using for the actual race as well, which that's mightily impressive to get the tyres and brakes up to temp in one lap compared to 8 hours where you've got a long old time to get the temp up. So it should be
just some minor tweaks to the brake ducts and basically that's all.
fantastic. That's it. So we've seen what pace you can do. So it's just a case of trying to maintain that for 8 hours, which is always the big thing, isn't it? Is trying to do that.
Yeah, we last 2 races we have had mechanical issues, so with computers and stuff, hopefully this time we have luck.
Hopefully, I say it's the season closer as well. So if you can come away with a pole position here, nothing better than being on pole at the end of the season, because no one else can take that away from you at that point. So yeah, best of luck for the race later. We are going to round things up now. I'm going to go and quickly stuff myself with food before the main race, which is a little bit later this afternoon. Best of luck to yourself. Any sort of final words before we have to end this interview?
Going in for the race, it's gonna be exciting one.
Yeah, I think it should be really, really good. I think seeing how close you all are in qualifying really shows just how competitive and closely packed the entire grid's going to be. And yeah, corkscrew lap 1's going to be exciting, and at least you're in the best position for it. Hopefully you can just let everyone else deal with it behind you and you can just absolutely go for it. So hopefully it all goes well for you. Thank you ever so much for joining me in the booth.
Yeah, no problem.
Fantastic, and best of luck for later.
Thank you.
Right, so that is Superpole complete, both Tiers 1 and Tier 2, and we've watched both of those. Do join us later, back here, same channel, for coverage of the Tier 1, 8 hours of Laguna Seca, and you know, keep a little eye out for people in the racing, and other people maybe streaming like from their POVs if you want to have a little look. But yeah, do come and give us a watch. We would massively appreciate it. So yeah, thank you ever so much for joining us, and we will see you a little bit later for the main race. Thank you.